is not about some future problem that we're trying to solve when we retire and when you and I no longer are gainfully employed. We try to make the point that this is about managing an entire life cycle from cradle to grave. So it is not just about our future well-being, be that emotionally, spiritually, financially, or otherwise. It is about our current well-being. And therefore, yes, there is tension, there is a trade-off. We live in a society of instant gratification. Increasingly, the young people want the here and the now, aided by an invasion of technology and social media. Instant gratification is the name of the game. But we have to understand that we have to, whilst we have the earning capacity, make provision for the future, and also not live like paupers now in order to secure our future well-being, or live like kings now and then age like paupers. So it's about balancing that, which is also why a total reward system is the approach that we advocate. Another important insight that the book brings is we have to significantly take on the collective responsibility to both raise awareness, but to also provide constructive and programmatic approaches to increasing financial literacy, to make people aware of how they spend their money, what they spend it on, and also balancing the here and the now with the future, as I mentioned before. So for example, most of us would make a contribution of 13.5%, and that, you may be surprised to know, will only provide for a replacement rate of less than 40% of your current income level. If you wish to move that to 75%, which we think is reasonable, then the contribution rate has to be around about 28%, as our recent calculations indicate. Our retirement age needn't just be a number that we suck out of our thumbs. Our research has shown that just by adding another 2 years to your working life, you could add between 15 and 30% of improvement to your benefit after you've retired. So it is about entire life cycle management. It is about the redesign of our contribution level. It is about making sure that we balance our current need with our future needs, and thence a comprehensive dialogue between all social partners to ensure a collaborative as opposed to a competitive approach to this, because this is our collective problem. It is not an us versus them. It is an issue which, if we don't solve it collectively, we will impose huge burden on society and thus negatively impacting on the social fiber. Who are the stakeholders? First of all, I am the individual member, the employee, the worker, who has to take some of my earnings and invest it for the future. Secondly, there is my employer. Employers should also understand that when they design a total reward system for their employees, they create an employee value proposition that can be attractive, retentive, and really allows for a far more engaging workforce. Not an insignificant benefit to be had, and therefore not an insignificant part of your employment value proposition design. Thirdly, there is the state. The state ultimately is the provider of last resort. And so therefore, any deficiency in the design of the long-term savings industry for employed workers ultimately becomes the burden on the state. And of course, a very important social partner is organized labor, our trade unions, who is an important dialogue facilitator, but also a contributor towards the well-being of our workforce. And therefore the role of the unions, together with the stakeholders I've already mentioned, becomes crucial as collaborative and collective endeavors towards the reconceptualization and the redesign of the long-term savings industries for employed individuals. Then there is, of course, all of us, South Africans, the taxpayers. Because guess what? To the extent that the state has to pick up the burden, you and I have to fund that through our tax money, which could otherwise be building roads and schools and creating great legacy infrastructure for our young democracy. And therefore, we're all in this together, we're all stakeholders, none of us can stand on the side and be indifferent towards this. And it's for this reason that Alexander Forbes, in writing the book, makes a clear position and takes a stand to say, we want to be part of the solution. We don't just want to problem state. Hence, the book, hopefully, will catalyze the conversation around our own and each other's investment in our future.